Good evening. Welcome all of you. The topic for this evening's discussion is on to love God. It is a great topic because to love God. There is a billion-dollar question before us. We don't know who really love God is. And what is the criteria we have to fulfill so that we will be in a position to love God? That is a great thing, great discussion for now, and it will be discussed. Everything we will discuss from Sri Aurobindo's aphorisms. We know love of God is truth and the love of truth is divine. Very interesting. These are the two small sentences and the great sentences from Sri Aurobindo. Love of God is truth and the love of truth is divine. Here we are going to discuss to love God and how Sri Aurobindo, of course, utilizes the terms and how he is really loving the God, and what is the criteria, where is the pitfall, and what should be the type of love. That's what we are going to take, of course, in a brief. Sri Aurobindo quotes here, to love God, excluding the world, is to give Him an intense but imperfect adoration. Very interesting. To love God, naturally there is a adoration, but thing is that it is not so simple as it looks, as it seems, because one question was put by Sri Aurobindo. Initially we have seen while describing the love of God, Sri Aurobindo asks categorically, it is a miracle that men love God. It is a miracle that man loves God, but fails to love humanity. They love God, but fails to love the humanity. It is a miracle. Then Sri Aurobindo, of course, asks, then with whom they are in love? Then whom they are in love? So they love the God but fails to love the humanity. That's what Sri Aurobindo asks the question in a very strong voice, with whom then they are in love. Then here also, to love God excluding the world, to love God excluding the world. Sri Aurobindo quotes here, is to give him an intense but an imperfect adoration. So humanity, world, that love, it must cover the humanity in the world. Anyway, still in the goes little bit forward. That was 450 aphorism number. So is love only a daughter or handmaid of jealousy? Most of the time we know love, who the lover is jealous, love is jealousy, jealousy the name woman, cruelty the name woman. Love is actually blind. It knows not any rules and regulations. Many ways, here in the courts, love, a glory from the eternity sphere, have been abased, mocked, disfigured by the baser minds. So here in the course, is love only a daughter or handmaid of jealousy? Question that has to be answered in our own way. Really, are we able to know what really love is? Is love only a daughter or handmaid of jealousy? If Krishna loves Chandravali, just imagine. Questions: if Krishna loves Chandravali, why should I not love her also? This is possible because love is not definitely not definitely directly or so wholeheartedly tagged to jealousy. So Sri Aurobindo, that's what I will try to quote. Is love then only a daughter or handmaid of jealousy? If Krishna loves Chandravali, if Krishna loves Chandravali, why should not I love her also? Again, Sri Aurobindo goes forward. If thou canst love the false worm, if you can't love the false worm or and the foulest of criminals, how canst thou believe that thou hast accepted God in thy spirit? Because God is there in the criminals also, in also worm also. His presence is very much significant. We can see, if we can be able to exclude them, and we don't be we are not able to love them, and from our loving list they are excluded because simply they are worms or foulest of criminals. Then with who is whom actually we are in love, selectively we are choosing. That is the choice. That is what actually it is a something like a partiality you can find, but not the reality. If thou canst love the vilest worm and the foulest of criminals, how canst thou believe that thou hast accepted God in thy spirit? Because you don't know who really are them are they, simply because God's person, God's spark, it is there in us and also with them, but we are not, because we have got hatred for this worm and of course criminals. Not only the worm and criminals, but the vilest worm and the foulest of criminals. So we have not yet known what really they represents and what love truly is. That actually it is not in our mentality, and because we are very selecting and choosing, this is the mental portion of the one person, one partial portion mentally we are choosing, not the truest truth. Against here in the course, because thou lovest God only. Again, because thou lovest God only, thou art apt to claim that he should love thee rather than others. Because this is a give and take relationship, possession, and it is a demand. Because thou lovest God only, thou art apt to claim that he should love thee rather than others. But this is a false claim, contrary to rights and the nature of things. I love him, you are bound to love. I love God, he is bound to love me. That is just here in the course. Contrary to right and the nature of things, for he is one, but thou art the many, multiplicity. He is one from whom actually these billions, millions, trillions, infinite number of creatures have been created. Multiplicity, law of multiplicity, according to this law. So rather become one in the heart and soul with all beings which has been created, because his portions are very much prominent in all beings. Then there will be none in the world but thou alone for him to love. Because if I am in you, I am in he, I am in it, I am in the worm, I am in the criminal. So we have got then only will we have the exclusive demand. So to love thee, then it is possible. Very interesting, very acceptable, and very much prominently expressed aphorism by Sri Aurobindo. I'll try to quote it again. Because thou lovest God only, thou art apt to claim that he should love thee rather than others. But this is a false claim, contrary to right and the nature of things. For he is the one, but thou art the many. He is the one and we are many. Rather become one in heart and soul, one within heart and soul with all beings. Then there will be none in the world but thou art alone for him to love. Again, my quarrel is with those who are foolish enough not to love my lover. Not to love my lover. They are foolish here in the courts. My quarrel is with with those who actually I quarrel. My quarrel is with those who are foolish here in the courts. They are foolish. First, I quarrel with them because they are foolish enough not to love my lover, not to love my lover, not with those who share his love with me. So, if it is not there, they have not recognized, they have not gone to that extent, if that sentimentality is not there, if psychically they are not that much enlarged, so my quarrel is with them. My quarrel is with those who are foolish enough not to love my lover, not with those, but not with those who share his love with me. Many are there who share love with me. With them, I don't have any quarrel. But those people who don't share their loves, they are actually, I call them foolish, and I quarrel with them. So that is the what Sri Aurobindo quotes. Of course, it is a spiritual quarrel. It is a inner quarrel. Sri Aurobindo quotes, and it has got very inner meaning really. Again, Sri Aurobindo quotes, in those whom God loves, have delight. In those whom he pretends not to love, take pity. Very interesting. We'll see it in a very larger vision. We'll see. So, here in the course here that in those whom God loves, have delight in those whom God loves. But another rest of the world, some person is there. They are not on those whom he pretends not to love. Then take pity. That is a great answer. Whom really God loves have delight. Second category, opposite characteristic. On those whom he pretends not to love, he pretends, God pretends not to love, take pity. Again, dost thou hate the atheist because he is not, he does not love God? She ask question because you know Nastic. So, do you hate the atheist because he does not love God? Then should not thou be disliked because thou dost not love God perfectly. So what happens? Then shouldst thou be disliked because thou dost not love God perfectly, because you don't know what is the difference between atheist and the counterpart. So you know God is everywhere because He has seen one person. In him atheist also there is presence of God. So if thou hate the atheist because he does love not God, that's why you hate him. It indicates that you have got some imperfections. That should not then shouldst thou be disliked. You will be also disliked because you don't love God perfectly, because you don't know what really the atheist representing here. That is a great thing told by Sri Aurobindo. There is one thing, especially, in which creeds and churches surrender themselves to the devil. One thing, very interestingly here in the course, there is one thing, especially in which creeds and churches surrender themselves to the devil, and that is in their, anathems. Anathems. When the priest chants, anathema, Maranatha, then I see a devil worshipping, praying. So very interesting. I will try to analyze a little bit in brief detail. There is one thing especially in which creeds and the churches surrender themselves to the devil. Creeds and the churches normally they surrender to the devil. It is very clear. It is very special. That is in their anathemas. When priest chants, these priests they chant anathema, and of course Maranatha, then I see a devil worshipping, praying. So this is the very true, hard, touching scenario we have ever seen, ever heard. Anyway, we'll go forward. It is 444 aphorism number. We can see. So in the course, there are two things in God which men call evil. There are two things in God. Two things in God. One men call evil. That which they can't understand at all, and which they have misunderstood or possessing or misused. That is evil. Two things in God. One is evil, that which they can't understand at all, what really this represents they don't understand at all, and that which they misunderstand and possessing and misuse. They misunderstand, possessing and misuse. It is only what they grow up after half mainly or dimly understood, half vainly or dimly understand, that they call good or holy. Evil they have misused, holy or good they have simply half vainly or dimly understand. But for me, here in the course, but for me, what happens here? All things in him are lovable. So maybe good. Second category, maybe good or holy. Evil in one side, or which is being normally possessed and misused, misunderstood, and second, that is good and holy, they are half vainly or dimly understood. Still there's here in the course, for me all things in him are lovable. Again, we are going to next one. To thy lover, O Lord, to thy lover, O Lord, the railing of the world is wild honey, and the pelting of stones by the mob is a summer rain. So imagine how it has been described, beautiful. To thy lover, O Lord, the railing of the world is in wild honey. A railing of the world which is going on, that is wild honey. And the pelting of stones, many have been pelted, stone pelted to many great saints and great men. So by the mob is the summer rain on the body. For it is not thou at railst or peltest, and it is not thou in the stones, thou strikest and hurtest me. So this is the characteristics. Two ways. One is railing the world in a wild honey. Second, railing the world in the wild honey. Second, pelting stone by the mob. So that's what Sri Aurobindo tries to conclude. In two ways, we get very, very heart-burning, heart stammering situation, So, but Sri Aurobindo quotes here, concludes here, for it is not thou. For is it not thou, thou, and thou means the lover who railst and peltest? Both the work have been done. It is by you, and it is not thou in the stones than that strikest and hurtst. So both in honey and both in stone, you are only there. So what is the position? What is the what is the point in simply hating others? Second, here in the course, that is a nice one. We'll see it right now. They say, "Oh my God, that I am mad because I see no fault in thee." Oh Lord. They claim, they say, "I am mad because I see no fault in thee. I am mad because I see no fault in thee. But if I am indeed mad with thy love, but if indeed I am mad with thy love, I don't wish to recover my sanity." Just imagine how great it is. Here in the course again. They say, "Oh my God, that I am mad because I see no fault in thee." Because Lord is actually spotless. No spot, no fault. He is beyond everything. No, oh my God, that I am mad because I see no fault in thee, they say. But if I am indeed mad, because I am mad because I can't see any fault in thee, they say. But Sri Aurobindo asks, if really I am mad indeed with thy love, I don't wish to recover my sanity, because I love you, because I love you, I love you, because it would be impossible for me not to love you. So what they say, they think it is not at all material for me. It does not to be not a great thing for me, but the thing is that I don't want wish to recover my sanity. Against here in the course, errors, falsehoods, stumblings, three things they cry. Errors, falsehoods, and the stumblings, three things. How bright and beautiful are the errors? Sri Aurobindo tries to convince, because he has the foresight. He could be able to see everything in a crystal clear manner, in the sight of the soul, sight of the spirit. He was observing and analyzing, of course, convincing us. So error, falsehoods, and stumblings they cry, how bright and beautiful are thy errors, O Lord. Second, thy falsehood have saved truth alive. Then by the stumblings the world is perfected. So great things Sri Aurobindo quotes, because they see errors, falsehoods, and the stumblings, but the inner meaning, inner truth they have forgotten. By error, the bright and the beautiful are the errors, O Lord. Second, thy falsehoods save truth alive. And the third, thy stumblings, the world is through thy stumblings, and by thy stumblings the world is perfected. So these things they have not seen outwardly, they have concluded, but the thing is it has got a great value. Against your window, life, 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 I hear the passions cry. Life, 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 here I hear the passions cry. God, 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 the soul answers. Soul is the soul's answer. Unless thou seest and lovest life as God only, then is life itself a sealed joy to thee. So it is again a beautiful aphorism in 447. The error, falsehood, and stumblings. This was 446. 447 we find life, life, life. I hear the passions cry. Same time there is also when there is a cry, there is also an answer. What is the God, God, God is the soul's answer. So not life but a God. Again, Sri Aurobindo tries to have a very interesting conclusion. Unless thou seest and lovest life as God only, life you see and love as the God only, then is life itself a sealed joy to thee. You can't enjoy the true meaningful joy of life because you have not seen God as life. Towards the end, we'll see very nice aphorism here from Sri Aurobindo. He loves her, the senses say. He loves her, the senses say, but the soul says, God, God, again, God, God. This is the all embracing formula of existence. That is the great thing really Sri Aurobindo has quoted, and of course we see here. He loves her. Naturally, this question comes. I mean, our senses, most of the time, they claim he loves her. Our senses say, but the soul says, God, God, God. Again, thrice, God, God, God. This is the all-embracing formula of existence. Nice, really, really, really. It has to be understood perfectly, it has to be realized perfectly, it has to be answered perfectly, so that the true inner meaning can be unveiled before us, and we will be know the truth behind God's each act and movement. It is time here to stop here, and we'll wait for the next session. Vande Mataram.